Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Hope and Coffee. I'm Hope, and this is my new owl mug. And I haven't named him yet, but maybe y'all can leave some comments down below as to what his name should be. I do have one of those kind of fundamental needs to pack bond with just about everything, whether it's an inanimate object or a stuffed animal or what have you. So when it has a face, I tend to want to name it. So if y'all would like to help me name this mug, please feel free. Keep it PG at least. That would be most preferred. So this little hamster guy, I kind of had to name him Christopher. I have reasons for that, but that is his name. And anyway, we are going to start this year by being awesome. And maybe you do or don't know what that means, but it's not an anagram for anything. The letters do not spell anything out. It is just simply something that I was thinking about as ways to start this year off a little bit better. I want to be more positive as I move into this year. I know that all of us have had such an incredibly hard couple of years, and we don't seem to feel like it's getting any better. And things just seem to be going downhill in a lot of different respects. I saw like a catastrophe bingo on Instagram, and we're in day 4 of the new year. But I wanted to talk about ways that we can go out here into life and be awesome, if not for ourselves, then for the people that we love, for the people we care about, and with the people that we love and care about. Um, if anything, like I said, being awesome for ourselves is a version of self care. When we are kind to ourselves, when we try to give ourselves credit where credit is due, then we actually carry that forward a little bit more into the world than we realize. And so I want to take the time to talk about a couple ways, a couple little things that we can do to be awesome, to feel a little more awesome. And I know there are ways and things that I've kind of like tried to implement into my own life. Um, so we'll just mention it real quick. My hair is really short right now, and I am kind of having a little bit of panic attack because I am not used to having this short of hair. Like, I don't think I've had this short of hair in years. However, in order to work on my hair journey and all this sort of stuff, I needed a fresh, clean slate. So it's really more about self care for me. I know it's going to grow, and right now it's just a transition phase, and I can make it look cute. It just looks weird because I've already been at work for a while. Um, but anyway, let's dive into some of the things we can do. And this did come from an article I found. And if I can remember the name of the article, I'll try to link it down below. But please feel free. You can look on Google and Google News. And sometimes it's just like part of my feeds and those sorts of things. I try to make notes when I can as to where it comes from. But sometimes I also forget because sometimes I'm at work and I just think like I see a topic, I read it, and then it really spurs me to want to share it with you all. So, like I said, a lot of these articles come from Google and Google News, and so if I'm able to remember or start saving those links, I am going to do my very best. But let's see. We're going to get into number 1, and we're not even really going to number these, but one of the things that you can do to be awesome is to be a good listener. And that's not only listening to yourself, and that's not only listening to like your mom or your dad or your significant other, but listening to the people around you as well, such as your coworkers and things like that, trying to be more empathetic in understanding rather than trying to listen just to respond. And I know I have a hard time when I need to listen to myself because I often don't want to listen to my gut instinct. And that is also very important about being a good listener. Sometimes we need to listen to our gut when it tells us certain things or when it's trying to tell us to do or not to do something. And those are some things you're just like, we have to learn along the way. but we can get better at that listening. Being yourself, being wholly and genuinely yourself is something that you can do to be awesome, to feel like you feel comfortable in your skin, to go out there, to radiate in all your wonder and all your like lovely, lovely self. But being able to do that in such a way that's genuine to you. It doesn't matter what other people think, and it took me a long time to really realize that. I think I was in my early 30s when I realized it didn't really matter what other people thought, because at the end of the day, I have to go home with me, and I will probably never see a lot of these people ever again. But that's something I had to learn. Being resilient is also kind of part of that, is because when you are genuinely yourself, when you are wholly yourself and healthily yourself, then sometimes you're going to catch some flack for that. But you have to be resilient. You can't come back in like a fighting manner, because sometimes that's just going to spur more people to want to try to respond. And sad people or negative people will almost always retaliate. And so if you find yourself starting to try to retaliate, then I would almost ask yourself, are you doing it for you, or are you doing it for them? Because you're probably not going to educate them on anything beyond what they've already said. And that's okay. Sometimes that's just how things work. But the resiliency is the important part, is to be able to stand where you are, wholly in your own self, and to be genuinely yourself and take that forward with you and know that you are honestly you, and it doesn't matter if someone else is not honestly themselves. And it's part of also the next one, which is being kind and being self-aware. We must be aware and self-aware of how we come off to others. That is our responsibility. We are responsible for our own reactions and actions. I think someone once told me that, I think someone was also gaslighting me at one particular point or another in my life. I've been gaslit by quite a few people. However, if I stay true to who I am, if I stay self-aware to what I know, then they are less able to manipulate me. But my reaction is my responsibility, and the way I act towards you is also my responsibility. How you act towards me based on my actions, it really, like, if I come and hit you, if I come and like slap you, say, that is I am guilty of that, and how you respond is then your response. But I may be deserving of a hit or slap in response. But I'm not saying that's wrong or incorrect. I'm just saying it's a self-awareness thing. And we have to be honest with ourselves, why we do certain things. Why would we post negative comments for someone on the internet? Because usually that's more of a reflection of yourself rather than of that person. And whether you like them or not, like, you've consumed their content, and so something about not being able to be honest with yourself is causing you to want to respond in the ways you're responding. I know I have a hard time with certain things on the internet, and what I do is I just try to avoid those pieces of content that I know will kind of frustrate me, but it's usually because I don't agree with those things. Now, I can disagree with those things and still keep my mouth quiet. Like, that's fine. I'm not doing any advocacy for anyone by spewing hatred in return for someone else's hatred. I'm just simply not. It's not going to do any good. But finally, and this is just like of the things we can do to kind of be awesome, and this is something I do strive to do, is I strive to leave the world a better place. Do we think they deserve it? I don't know. I think my puppy deserves it. I think my niece and nephew deserve it. I think there are a few people out there that deserve the world to be a better place. Sadly, I'm not sure everybody sees it that way, but at least for me, those are the factors that I think about when I think about striving to leave the world a better place, that when I have shuffled off this mortal coil, I am able to have someone or something look back and say, she was a good person. I don't even care if I'm remembered 5 minutes after I'm gone. It doesn't matter. I do not need a legacy that, like, of statues or what have you. That is not my point for living. My point is that I want to leave the world a better place, and that's all. I don't need the kudos and accolades of any of that, but that's just me. So striving to leave the world a better place was the final one. I'd love to know what you think. Please leave a comment down below as to what you think you could go out there and do and be awesome about. And I will see you guys on the next page. Have a great one.